Hey everyone, my name is Peter Muhaya. I create math content that is short and easy to understand, that explains basic math concepts ranging from numbers to probability to statistics, calculus, and even geometry. In each video, I always try to start off with giving the definitions, and then later on I use examples that range in difficulty, and then I finish off every video with some independent exercises for you to try and with answers. If this is content that you find interesting, then please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and also share this video with a student that could benefit from this content. In this video, I'm going to share with you the basics of matrices, how to add, how to subtract them, how to check if those two matrices are compatible before you can do any additional subtraction of matrices. Now, if you understand this topic already and you want to do something a bit more challenging, then click on the link up here where I show you how to multiply matrices. And let's get started. So let's look at the definition to start off, the definition of matrices. So a matrix is an array of numbers or variables defined by rows and columns. In this video, if I use the word matrix, that's for singular, and matrices, it's referring to plural, several matrices. And there's an image here that I have of a matrix. So sometimes the matrix is going to be defined using brackets, and sometimes it could be parentheses. But from this image, you can see there are columns and there are rows. So the next couple of minutes, we'll go through a few concepts that are going to lay the groundwork for us to be able to do math operations using matrices. So the first concept that we're going to review is called the order of a matrix. So the order of a matrix is sort of like a way to label, to name a matrix. When we label or we name a matrix, this allows us to be able to do certain math operations. So the definition of order of a matrix is how we number the rows and columns. So we're going to be naming the rows and columns using the letter R, and then there's like this multiplication symbol, it's like by, and then the letter C is columns. We always start with rows and then secondly columns. So we'll go through these 6 matrices and see how we're going to label them. So in the first matrix here, you can see that there are 2 rows. So I'm going to put the number 2 first, and then that multiplication symbol, which is by. And then we see that there are 3 columns. So this first matrix is going to be 2 by 3. In the middle matrix here, it's a square matrix. And so you're going to have 2 rows and 2 columns. So it's a square matrix because the 2 numbers here are the same. So what about the third matrix? There are 3 rows and there's 1 column. So 3 by 1. The fourth one is 1 by 3. Because there's 1 row and 3 columns. And the next one is also a square matrix, so it's going to be 3 by 3. And the final one is 2 by 2. So some matrices are going to have just numbers. Some of them are going to have variables. Some of them are going to have both variables and numbers. But when we label them, or when you label a matrix using numbers like this, row by column, this is called the order of a matrix. And in the next part, I'm going to show you why this is important. So once we know what an order of a matrix is, let's see how can we add or subtract matrices. So when you want to add or subtract a matrix, you need to make sure that the order of the 2 matrices are the same. So if the matrices don't have the same order, you can't add them. So let's look at the first one here. So what is the order of the first matrix here? This is a square matrix, so it's 2 by 2. The second matrix here, it's also a square matrix, so the order is 2 by 2. That means these 2 matrices here can be added. What about these other 2 matrices? The order of this matrix here is 2 by 2, and the order of this matrix here is 2 by 1. So can we subtract those 2 matrices? The answer is no. You can only add or subtract matrices that have the same order. Alright, so let's go through a couple of adding and subtracting matrices examples. Whenever you want to add matrices, you need to first of all check and see if they're compatible. So if they are, the way you check that is to see if they have the same order. The first matrix is a 2 by 2 matrix. The second one is a 2 by 2 matrix. That means they have the same order and they're compatible. Now, the way you add matrices is you add the numbers in the same position. So in the first matrix, where I see -3, I need to add the same number in that same position. Those two numbers are going to be added together. So if I add -3 plus 2, I'll get -1. And then I'm going to add 5 plus 1, and that's going to be 6. And then I need to add -2 plus 0 is -2, and then -8 plus 1 is -7. And then this is the result. In the next matrix here, we see that it's a 3 by 2, and the second matrix is a 3 by 2. And then so we're going to be adding the positions that correspond to each matrix. So for that position where 4 is going to be added to the 6, -9 to -11, and so forth. So for, actually we're subtracting. So 4 minus 6, -9, minus -11. So let's go ahead and subtract them. So 4 minus 6 is -2, -9 minus -11 is +2, 12 minus 3 is 9, -34 minus -5 is -29, 5 minus 2 is 3, and 2 minus -8 is +10. The final matrix here is a 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3, so we're going to add -13 plus 34 and so forth. So -13 plus 34 is 21, 18 plus -3 is 15, and 12 plus 9 is 21.